So it was just recently discovered that your Quest 3 or 3S has just received a power boost. And this seems to be rolling out within V71. We also get a look at the brand new look of Horizon OS that comes packed with features like train mode. We also get some juicy information about 3 upcoming headsets from Valve, Nintendo and Samsung, and a peek into the future of real-time AI game generation. And so welcome back to another week's worth of VR news. First, let's start with some controversy, and it's coming from the guys of Ghost of Tabor. You might have noticed recently that VR devs are doing huge 90% discounts on the games to shoot straight to the top charts for visibility, then reversing back to normal price. The guys at Tabor noted that games should be at the top because of their quality, not because of the discount, and to a good degree I definitely agree. It does seem like a bit of manipulation to get into the bestsellers list by using discounts. Also, just quickly, it looks like we'll finally see a new area to explore in Ghost of Tabor, which seems to be some sort of shopping centre, which could be cool. And while we're talking about games, for those looking forward to Alien releasing this year, it looks like there has been a delay. It's still coming to PSVR and PC on December 19th, but the Quest version will likely arrive early next year. Personally, I'm fine with delays. I'd rather that than something potentially janky. On the good news side of things, Metro Awakening is available now, and off to a really good start with 8 out of 10 from most reviewers. The atmosphere and intensity are off the charts, combined with a AAA story. But playing it over the last few days highlighted something for me. I'm not sure if you feel the same, but one thing I absolutely hate when playing a VR game is the lack of real physics. It really puts me off when I can't interact with the environment the way I expect. Batman actually does a better job than Metro, with more closely matching physics for your bendy fingers, but this is why I keep coming back to games like Blade and Sorcery. I can just play how I want, and if I throw a rock or a sword at someone, I know what to expect. For me, strong physics should be the foundation of each VR game, unless it's a more specific playstyle like Beat Saber. Oh, and also, mods are now available for Nomad 1.0 Blade and Sorcery, so you can say run around as Mike Myers? I'd be interested to know what's more important to you when it comes to VR games. What tickles your pickle? Is it physics, bouncy bits, or something I missed? Just sidestepping slightly, and to give some credit, these games are actually starting to look really good on new hardware. Both the Quest 3 and 3S, Blade and Sorcery, Batman, Metro nearly look like PC games, and all of this is on standalone hardware strapped to your face. It's crazy how they are pulling this off, but things are going to get even better. As of right now, your Quest is secretly getting a performance upgrade, thanks to some wiggle room in the CPU and GPU. The clock speeds have been increased by roughly 10%, which is actually a big deal. This affects both the Quest 3 and 3S. With mobile hardware, you can't push everything to the max due to the power limits and overheating. But over time, Meta finds the sweet spot, so that might not be the last of the secret upgrades. And talking of secrets, there are 3 headsets that keep popping up more recently, from Valve, Nintendo and Samsung. Apparently, they are working on a new headset in collaboration with Google. If you remember, Samsung was one of the early players in the VR game with their Gear VR, but since then it's been pretty quiet. This time around, Samsung isn't just slapping a phone to your face. The new device is rumoured to be a standalone headset, but with Google on board. We're likely to see some serious changes and integrations with Android, and this also aligns with the changes within the Google Play Store referencing VR. The headset is expected to use a dual micro OLED display supplied by Sony. These displays are rumoured to have a resolution of 380/40 by 3552 pixels per eye, and a refresh rate of 90 Hz. Under the hood, it's likely to be powered by Qualcomm's Snapdragon XR2 Gen 2 chip, the same as the Quest 3 and 3S, plus 16GB of RAM. Now, apart from the Snapdragon chip, this headset sounds more like a Vision Pro competitor. With that kind of resolution and the existing Google Store, at the right price, this could be something special. But on the other end of the scale, there's the possibility of a Nintendo VR headset. Recently, the Japanese Patent Office revealed a new patent that could be a foundation for the new Labo VR add-on for their upcoming Switch successor. The patent label Auxiliary Device and Stereoscopic Image Display System suggests Nintendo isn't done experimenting with VR just yet. But what actually is it? The patent describes a portable main unit, most likely the new Switch console that displays stereoscopic 3D images. It also mentions an auxiliary device to assist with the viewing of the 3D visuals. It's kind of strange how they're pitter-pattering around the word VR there. Unlike the original Labo VR kit, which was primarily cardboard, this new system shows a more refined clip-in mechanism that securely holds the console in place, addressing one of the main criticisms with the original Labo VR. Interestingly, there's no mention of a headset strap, implying that Nintendo is sticking to its old approach, basically holding the device to your face rather than wear it like a traditional VR headset. It's a bit disappointing that Nintendo isn't fully committing to VR, but it's still a start. And lastly, onto my favourite potential future headset, the Valve Deckard. For those who haven't watched my rundown on the latest Deckard news, here's a quick summary. It's pretty clear that Valve is gearing up for the release of its highly anticipated headset, the Valve Deckard. It's a hybrid VR device that could actually redefine the VR landscape. Unlike the Meta Quest, Deckard looks to be a standalone and PC hybrid operating independently, sort of like a Steam Deck for your face. Powered by SteamOS and Proton Arm, it's rumoured to run on current SteamOS using Valve's Proton Arm compatibility. This tech allows Windows games to run on Linux, enabling both 2D and VR games on ARM-based architecture. Basically, it's like a Steam Deck but with VR capabilities. Valve is actually actively testing an ARM64 version of Proton, which suggests they're serious about supporting ARM-based VR. Hopefully we'll see a headset in 2025, because I don't think the Index community can wait much longer. But moving on, I just want to show you the future, and you can actually try this too. The world's first AI real-time game generator. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor. I love watching movies, and I like experiences that make the most of cinematic masterpieces. And that's why I wanted to do a sponsor with probably the most versatile immersive screen out there, and that's Moon VR Player. You get an incredible amount of customizable options to optimize your screen. That in combination with spatial mixed reality lighting, PC networking, wall anchoring, and a load of mind-blowing VR environments to choose from. It's kind of surreal to watch one of the best sci-fi films from space. Moon VR Player takes your screen to the next level by giving you the flexibility to basically do what you want. It's super simple to set up, and you can upload files onto your Quest or simply network them from your PC. It's probably the easiest app to start watching movies the way you want. If you want 40% off Moon VR Player, I'll leave a link down in the description below. Now, what I'm about to show you is just mental. And I know this channel is pretty much 99% VR, but it's potentially the future of VR considering Meta is balls deep in the AI side of things. This is Oasis, a real-time open-world AI model. Obviously this is trained on Minecraft, but this has no game engine. It can run locally and is a 500 milliparameter model, and bearing in mind this model is tiny in comparison to say ChatGPT's 1.5 trillion parameters. Seeing this really makes me think that 5 years from now we'll be able to describe the games we want to see and play, and AI models will create the world around you. It honestly blows my mind that all this is possible, and I can see why they call it the Oasis. But back to reality, and another Quest update. V71 and V72 will start to roll out a new look, more specifically a colour palette and slightly redesigned menu boxes. They are signifying this change to be a refresh now that the Quest 3S is here, and I'll be really interested to know if any of you are seeing this new look, because I'm not. Without going into too much detail, much like aeroplane mode, we now have train mode, and we also get a volume mixer finally, which I think was well overdue. Anyway, if you're thinking about upgrading or buying a Quest 3 or 3S, the link on the screen now will give you some free credit and helps the channel. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, I'll catch you on the next one.